Hello everyone, let's walk through installing and using Ollama. Ollama is a tool that allows you to run various open source models locally. So you can use LLMs and also maintain privacy and control and avoid costs if you want using your own hardware. For our assignment, we're asked to install this. So first you would head over to the Ollama website and you'd click download. And once here, select the appropriate download for your particular system and then walk through the steps to install. Once you've installed and you open, you'll see an interface like this. Now, I recommend setting things up so that you're using a model that's very small at first, because some of these models require vast resources. For instance, don't use 120B as is listed here. I'm using a very powerful Mac, which uses memory that's available to both the CPU and GPU usage, and so I have ample memory. But if you try and use too large an LLM model here locally, it will cause issues for your rig. So let's go find something that works. You can find various models here by just clicking models on their website. I'm actually going to type in Tiny Llama. I see it here, actually, as I start to type tiny. A few things. Notice this is meant to run on a broad range of systems, no matter the resources. So I can just copy this code. I can then jump over to my terminal or command line interface. On Windows, you would just use the Windows button and then type in CMD and then bring up your command line. Here, I actually just did a quick spotlight search and started to type in terminal on my Mac. Whatever works for you. Once you're here, you can just paste in that code. And when we ask it to run a model, it's going to download it and then run it for us if we've installed everything correctly. So I'm just going to hit that. It's going to quick download. And again, this is a much smaller model. Now of note, as it's getting all this information, we have to make sure that once we've installed the model, we've actually selected the appropriate model here. So let me wait for a second here. Now it's actually already up and running. I'm going to actually pick up in the GUI here so I can type in buy. That's just a code to get us out of that running behind the scenes. And now notice if I try and find it here, we probably can find, there we go, at the bottom now. It's updated the interface. Now I can select Tiny Llama, and then I can use this generative AI chat just as I would something like ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini. The differences are I don't have to pay. It's running on my own hardware. So now with this new model downloaded, we can actually do some work. Of note, I actually have a similar interface here that resembles the other chats we use. I also want you to see that you can adjust the settings, and this is important because here you can choose if you want to allow network access. You can control the context length or the context window. The idea is how much is remembered. You want to keep this small and then gradually make it bigger if you have sufficient resources on your system, but keep it small at first. And additionally, notice it says airplane mode. If you want to ensure privacy, if you want to ensure that nothing leaves your system, you can turn this on. All right, with that done, now we can ask a simple question. Let's ask something like, please explain quantum computing in one paragraph. Now, I don't know how well this little model will do, but we see, hey, not too bad. It actually is a couple paragraphs, but we know how it works. And actually, as you use larger models, you will see the results improve too. This is the smallest model that or one of the smallest models you can use. And so we always have to consider both the pros of using a small model because it'll run on practically everything, but additionally the cons because this particular model is not nearly as powerful as others. Notice if I ask the same, I'm going to switch models and I'm going to use the much larger. Don't use this model on your system. It's likely to cause you issues. But I've got a very powerful system here in front of me. Let me use this and you'll see if I ask it to generate one paragraph on quantum computing, I'll probably get a better response and it will more accurately reflect what I was looking for. So let's give it time. It's taking time to think, and there's our paragraph. And so we could actually compare those. What I would like for you to do is get Ollama running, and then as per our assignment, please show that you actually did try some queries with the tiny llama. Other models that you could try using, Gemma 2 is actually a very capable model. It takes a little bit more in terms of resources. So this one here, Gemma 2 2B, but you would just copy that command and then paste it over here to install and do the same steps as before. It is quite a bit better in terms of what it will generate. And then if you even have more system resources, I would consider one of the Phi models. For instance, Phi, I'll just type in Phi general here. So Phi 2.7, that's Phi 2. I actually don't want that one. I want Phi 4. And so we can actually choose various versions of this. Notice, don't be fooled. This version is the 14B. And notice the size. If you see that size, we're at the wrong spot. Let's go look again. Phi 4. And notice this says mini. And I see mini 3.8B. There we go. Size 2.5 gigabytes. That's much more like it. This is another great model that you could use. And I would work up tiny llama, and then I'd work up to Gamma 2B, and then I would try the Phi 4 mini 3.8B. But don't, if your system seems like it's already starting to be taxed with the tiny llama, stay there. All right. I hope you enjoy playing around with Ollama, and I'll see you in future videos. Bye.